People ask me all the time, Denzel, what's the secret? I start before the sun does. While the world is still asleep, I'm already working on my mind, my spirit, my craft. See, success doesn't meet you halfway. You've got to chase it when it's quiet, when no one's watching, when it's just you and your commitment. The early morning is where the fight begins. And if you win the morning, if you win the whole day. When I talk about waking up early, I'm not talking about just setting an alarm. I'm talking about a mindset, a discipline, a way of living that says, I'm willing to meet the day before it even knows I'm coming. For me, discipline starts before sunrise, before the noise, before the demands, before the phone starts ringing and the world starts pulling you in 100 directions. That's when I claim my time. That's when I prepare myself for the battles I know are coming. You see, I've learned something in my life. How you start your day often decides how you finish it. If I roll out of bed late, already rushing, already reacting to life, I'm playing catch, up from the very first step. But if I'm up while it's still dark, I'm ahead. I'm in control. I'm not just responding to the world. I'm setting the tone for it. When I was younger, I didn't always understand this. I thought talent was enough. That skill would carry me through. But talent without discipline is wasted potential. You can have the greatest dreams in the world, but if you can't get yourself out of bed to work on when no one's watching, they stay dreams. Waking up early isn't glamorous. Nobody's applauding you at 5 a.m. There's no cheering crowd when you're sitting at a table with a notebook or reading a script while the rest of the city sleeps. But that's the point. The discipline you build in those quiet hours is the discipline that shows up when the lights are on and the pressure is high. For me, those early mornings are not just about getting more done. They're about getting the right things done. I use that time to feed my mind, to strengthen my spirit, to focus on what matters before the distractions try to seem my attention. Some mornings I'm praying. Some mornings I'm studying. Some mornings I'm exercising. But whatever I'm doing, I'm intentional about it. Because the first hours of your day belong to you, and how you spend them shapes everything that follows. If I start my day with discipline, I carry that discipline into my work, into my relationships. People sometimes say, Denzel, you've made it. You can sleep in now. They don't understand. Discipline isn't something you switch on and off. It's a muscle, and the moment you stop working it, it gets weak. I don't wake up early because I have to anymore. I wake up early because I want to stay sharp, because I know there's always another level to reach, and you can't reach it by doing the bare minimum. The morning is my training ground. It's where I rehearse not just lines, but life. Where I remind myself that success is not an event, it's a habit. The truth is, waking up early is not about the hour on the clock. It's about proving to yourself every single day that you're willing to do what most people won't. It's about starting strong so you can finish strong. It's about saying, I'm not going to let the day happen to me. I'm going to happen to the day. And over time, that discipline becomes part of who you are. You stop needing motivation because discipline has taken its place. You stop bargaining with yourself about whether you feel like getting up because you know your future depends on what you do when it's hard. I've seen this truth in every area of my life. In acting, the best performances come from preparation you did long before anyone saw you. In life, the best results come from work you put in long before the opportunity arrives. Those early hours, when it's just you and your thoughts, are where you shape your vision and strengthen your resolve. By the time the rest of the world wakes up, you've already put in the work. And that edge, that extra lap you ran before anyone else even tied their shoes, is often the difference between good and great, between almost and accomplished. So when I tell you discipline starts before sunrise, I'm not telling you to just set your alarm. I'm telling you to set your life. To make a decision that your goals, your growth, and your greatness are worth losing a little sleep over. To choose to be the person who's ready when the moment comes because you've been preparing for it in the dark. And when you make that choice every day, you'll realize that the sunrise isn't just the start of a new day. It's proof that you've already won the first battle. You want to know why I get up early? Why I start moving before the rest of the world has even rubbed the sleep out of their eyes? It's because I've learned that the world rewards the prepared. Life is not a lottery ticket where you just hope your number comes up. Life is a stage, and when that curtain rises, you better know your lines, you better be in position, and you better be ready. I can't tell you how many moments in my life looked like sudden opportunities from the outside, but in reality, they were the result of years of being prepared before the moment ever came. People see a role, an award, a speech, and they think it was luck, but luck is just the reward given to those who are ready when the door opens. And I made a decision early on, when that door swings open, I'm not going to be halfway down the street, still trying to put my shoes on. I'll be standing right there, ready to walk through it. When you get up early, you get a head start on everybody else. While they're still dreaming, you're already working on making your dreams real. You're reviewing your script, making your calls, setting your goals, getting yourself mentally sharp. And believe me, the morning gives you something the rest of the day can't: quiet, focus, and the chance to move without interruption. It's in those hours before the noise that you can really hear your own thoughts. You can plan your day with intention instead of letting it control you. And when you start like that, you're not just prepared, you're ahead. Preparation doesn't just happen because you want it to. You have to create the conditions for it. And that begins with when you start your day. I've walked into auditions, into sets, into meetings where I knew I wasn't the smartest person in the room, but I was the most prepared. I had studied, I had practiced, I had thought through every angle. And that gave me an edge that no amount of talent alone could give. People will tell you talent is enough. It's not. Talent will get you noticed. Preparation will get you the job. And waking up early is one of the simplest, most powerful ways to stack the deck in your favor. I remember times in my career when an opportunity came out of nowhere. A director called last minute. A script got dropped on my desk. An audition slot opened up that same afternoon. I didn't have time to get ready in that moment. I had to already be ready. That's the difference between being prepared and getting prepared. Getting prepared is reactive. You scramble, you rush, you hope it's enough. Being prepared is proactive. You've already put in the work, so when the opportunity arrives, you just step into it. That mindset is built in the early hours, when you discipline yourself to get up and put in the time, even when there's no immediate reward in sight. See, the truth is, preparation is invisible until it's not. Nobody sees you getting up at 5 a.m. to read, to train, to study, to plan. Nobody's clapping for you when you're rehearsing alone in your living room or sitting with a notebook full of ideas before the sun is up. But when the lights come on, when the moment is here, that preparation shows up in every move you make. And people might say, man, you made that look easy. But what they don't see is all those mornings you chose discipline over comfort, all those hours you invested in yourself when nobody was watching. And here's something else. Being prepared changes how you carry yourself. When you're prepared, you walk into a room with confidence. You speak with clarity. You're not afraid to take risks because you know you've done the work. Waking up early isn't just about time, it's about mindset. It tells your mind, we're serious about this. We're committed. We're not waiting for life to happen to us. We're going after it. That's the energy you carry into every meeting, every set, every opportunity. So I wake up early because I respect opportunity too much to meet it unprepared. I wake up early because I understand that the world doesn't slow down for anybody. And I wake up early because I've learned that success isn't about who works the hardest for a day, a week, or a month. It's about who consistently prepares themselves to be ready when the moment arrives. You can't control when your big break will come, but you can control whether you're ready when it does. And for me, that preparation starts every single morning before most people have even opened their eyes. That's not just a habit, that's a way of life. In the early hours, when the world is still wrapped in darkness and silence, that's when I find my center. There's something powerful about being awake when almost no one else is. No phones buzzing, no voices calling your name, no noise trying to pull your attention in 1,000 directions. Just you, your thoughts, and the stillness. That silence. It's not empty. It's full of possibility, full of answers you can't hear when the rest of the day is screaming at you. People think success is all about action, about moving fast, about constantly doing. But what I've learned is that before you can move with purpose, you have to be still with purpose. Those quiet early mornings give me that gift. I've spent years in a business that's loud, competitive, and relentless. Acting, producing, working in Hollywood, there's no shortage of voices telling you what to do, who to be, and how to live. If you're not careful, you can lose yourself in the noise. I've seen people drown in it, but I learned early on that if I wanted to stand strong in my own skin, I had to carve out time to listen to the one voice that matters, my own. And for me, that voice is clearest in the stillness of morning. That's when I talk to God, when I pray, when I ask for guidance. Not in a rush, not as an afterthought, but in real conversation. That's when I plan, when I think about the man I want to be that day. That's when I lay out my vision so that when I step into the chaos, I know who I am and where I'm going. People underestimate focus. They think it's something you switch on when you need it, like a light. But focus is built, it's trained, and it's fragile. The early morning is where I train mine. I don't start by scrolling through what everybody else is doing. I start by aligning myself with what I'm here to do. That could mean reading something inspiring, reviewing my goals, or simply sitting in silence and letting my mind settle. The silence acts like a reset button. It clears out the mental clutter so that when the day comes at me, I'm ready. I can tell you this, the people who own their mornings tend to own their lives. And I don't mean they just wake up early to check off tasks. I mean they take control of those first moments of the day, because those moments set the tone for everything that follows. If I wake up late, already rushing, already behind, the whole day feels like I'm chasing it. But if I wake up early, in control, grounded in that silence, the day chases me. I move through it with purpose because I've already taken time to define that purpose. Some folks say they're not morning people. And I get that. We all have our rhythms. But I believe everyone can find value in stillness, whether it's at sunrise or any other time. The point isn't just the hour, it's the space you create for yourself. For me, mornings work because the world hasn't put its demands on me yet. It's just me, the quiet, and the work I do on myself. That's the most important work there is, because everything else you do will flow from who you are inside. I've had mornings before a big movie shoot, before an award show, before a speech, where I knew the day would be intense. And those mornings, I didn't jump straight into the frenzy. I slowed down. I sat with my coffee, my Babel, my journal, and I breathed. I reminded myself that no matter how loud the world gets today, I've already found my peace, and no one can take it from me. That's the power of silence. It's like armor. It shields you from being shaken by the noise, the criticism, the distractions. We live in a time where silence is rare. We fill every gap with something: music, TV, social media, conversation. But I believe the most successful, the most grounded people are the ones who know how to be alone with their thoughts. The ones who can sit in that early morning stillness and let it sharpen them. Because when you step out into the day, you're stepping out with clarity, and clarity is a weapon. In my life, it's been the difference between wandering aimlessly and walking with confidence. That's why I cherish the early morning. It's not just a time on the clock. It's a sanctuary. It's where I hear my own voice before I hear the world's. It's where I remind myself that I'm not here just to react to life. I'm here to live it on purpose. And that purpose begins in the quiet, long before the sun comes up. You see, I learned a long time ago that if you want something bad enough, you can't wait until it feels comfortable. You can't wait until the sun is shining, the coffee's hot, and the world's already moving. You've got to get up before your excuses do. Because let me tell you, excuses sleep in late. They hit snooze. They like warm beds and soft pillows. But success wakes up early. Success shows up before anyone else. And I decided early in my life that I was going to beat my excuses out of bed every single day. There were mornings when I didn't feel like moving. I was tired. I was sore. I'd been on a set for 16 hours, or I had a late rehearsal, or I was just mentally drained. But I told myself, if you can get up now, if you can put in the work before the day even starts, you've already won. It's a small victory, but small victories add up. That's the truth most people miss. They think greatness comes from big moments, from standing on stage holding an award. But no, greatness comes from the small choices you make when nobody's watching. And for me, one of those choices is beating the sunrise. When I was just starting out, there were actors with more talent than me, more connections, more opportunities. I couldn't control that, but I could control how early I got up. I could control how prepared I was. I could control my hunger, my discipline, my work ethic. And when you wake up early, you give yourself more time to prepare. You give yourself a head start. The world is quieter, your mind is sharper, and you can focus without distraction. That's when you can study, practice, pray, and plan your next move. People ask, but what if I'm not a morning person? I tell them, you don't have to be a morning person. You have to be a purpose person. Purpose doesn't sleep late. Purpose demands that you sacrifice something, and sometimes that sacrifice is your comfort. Waking up early isn't about the hour on the clock. It's about proving to yourself that you're willing to put in the work when no one else will. And that habit, that discipline, carries over into everything else you do. I remember auditioning for a role early in my career. I wasn't the first choice. I probably wasn't even the fifth choice. But I showed up prepared, over-prepared, because I had been working out in the early mornings, before the calls, before the distractions. When they saw me, I didn't just read lines. I brought life to them, and I got the part, not because I was the most talented in the room, but because I was the most ready. Being early in the day made me early in opportunity. The truth is, most people start late and then wonder why they're behind. They think they can make up for lost time later in the day, but life doesn't work that way. Momentum starts early. If you start slow, you stay slow. But if you start fast, if you start before the day has even started, you're already ahead of the game. You've built momentum before others have even had breakfast. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. Waking up early is a fight. Your mind will tell you to stay in bed. Your body will tell you it needs more rest. But there's a voice inside you, your purpose, your drive, that will tell you to get up. That voice is the one you need to listen to. And every time you choose to get up, you silence the voice of excuse and you strengthen the voice of discipline. Years from now, you won't remember the mornings you slept in. You'll remember the mornings you got up when you didn't want to and pushed yourself. You'll remember how those mornings changed your life, the auditions you nailed, the opportunities you seized, the goals you reached, all because you refused to let excuses set the pace. So, when the alarm rings tomorrow, don't hit snooze. Don't give your excuses a head start. Get up, stand up, show up, because the early effort will always beat the late excuse. And the day you realize that is the day you start winning. Not just the morning, but your life. When I talk about waking up early, I'm not just talking about the time on the clock. I'm talking about the attitude that comes with it, the mindset it builds. People think success is about talent, about luck, about being in the right place at the right time.
No.
Success is about how you think, how you prepare, and how you carry yourself when nobody's watching. Those early hours of the morning, when the rest of the world is still in bed, that's where you're sharpening the most important tool you have, your mind. When I wake up before the sun, I'm making a statement to myself. I'm in control of this day. I'm not letting life dictate to me. I'm setting the tone. That simple act changes everything. You start your day with discipline. You carry that discipline into everything else. Your work, your relationships, your decisions. Early mornings teach you to lead yourself before you lead anyone else. And if you can lead yourself, there's no limit to where you can go. People tell me, I'm not a morning person. I say, neither was I until I decided I wanted more out of life than just getting by. It's not about your natural rhythm, it's about your commitment. If you want something badly enough, you'll get up for it. You'll make sacrifices for it. You'll trade comfort for progress. And over time, you realize those mornings aren't punishment. They're a privilege. They're the most peaceful, most productive, most defining part of the day. There's something about those hours before the world wakes up. No emails buzzing, no phones ringing, no voices pulling you in different directions. Just silence. In that silence, you hear your own thoughts. You can reflect on where you're going, on the person you're becoming. You can pray, write, train, whatever your craft is, whatever your purpose is, you get to invest in it without interruption. That's how you build not just skill, but clarity. That's how you separate yourself from the crowd, by doing the work they're not willing to do at the time they're not willing to do it. The early morning teaches you consistency. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you stayed up late, if it's raining outside, if you're in the mood or not. It's there every day, waiting to see if you'll show up. And every time you do, you're proving something to yourself, that you can rely on you. That trust in yourself is powerful. Because if you can trust yourself to get up and do the hard things when it's uncomfortable, you can trust yourself to handle the big moments when the pressure is on. See, most people want the results without the process. They want the spotlight without the rehearsal. But the truth is, the mindset for greatness isn't built in front of the crowd. It's built in the lonely, quiet hours when no one is clapping for you. Every early morning you put in is like laying a brick. You might not see the wall yet, but day after day, brick after brick. You're building something solid. And one day, the world sees the structure, but only you know the work it took to put it there. When I look back at my own journey, it wasn't the big moments that shaped me most. It was the habits I kept when no one was watching. Waking up early taught me to own my time, to own my choices, to be intentional with every single hour. And that kind of mindset doesn't just help you in your career, it shapes your character. It teaches you to be patient when things take longer than you want. It teaches you to be persistent when things get hard. It teaches you to keep going even when the rewards aren't immediate. That's why I say waking up early isn't about the clock. It's about the person you become in the process. The discipline, the focus, the self-respect you build in those hours carries into every area of your life. You walk differently. You think differently. You expect more from yourself because you've proven you can deliver. And when you step out into the world, you're already ahead, not just in time, but in mindset. You're not reacting to the day, you're directing it. You're not waiting for opportunities, you're prepared for them. And that's the difference between people who wish for greatness and people who achieve it. So if you ask me why I wake up early, I'll tell you, it's not just to get more done. It's to become the kind of man who's ready when his moment comes. Because life will give you a shot, but only if you're prepared to take it. And the preparation, it starts before the sun does. It starts with the choice you make every morning to rise. And when you rise early, consistently, you don't just start your day, you build the mindset that will carry you through every challenge, every setback, and every victory that lies ahead.